Breaking down the Florida State versus Memphis game and a final prediction.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back into Locked On Seminoles. I am your host, Brian Smith. Thank you for making this your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in to talk some Noles football with me. Today's show is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Today's Friday. I always make my Florida State prediction on Friday. That will not change. I'm going to go through the things that I think are going to be the most important for this game, that are most pertinent to get a victory or start the season 0-3. Here are my main concerns and the two areas that I think, quite honestly, that Florida State's going to start off and do well with compared to where they've been. So let's get to them. We need some positivity around here, at least to start. The passing game. Florida State, in my opinion, will be better in the passing game. A couple of reasons why. Continuity. That is the first thing. They're not going to be in game 3 and not at least improve some. They have been really bad with continuity, but this is just reps. I've talked about that a million times. You got to have as many as possible. As the season goes forward, they're going to get better. I still say they've got to create some explosives with some new plays, etc. I've talked about that ad nauseum on the show this week. But beyond that, I just think there's going to be a little more chemistry. And they're not going to drop 5 balls. PFF had Florida State dropping 5 passes last week. It might have been more. There's going to be more continuity there. The other part of that, surely that also carries over to the pass protection, right? I mean, there's just been too many times where DJ Uiagalelei has been under duress. And quite frankly, you can tell it bothers him. Like, he's not the most mobile guy in the world, but nobody likes getting smoked when a guy's coming through the A or B gap, all but untouched. There's been too much of that. I would assume that's going to get cleaned up. We'll see. I do have 2 prime concerns here, and these are kind of related on both sides of the ball. Florida State, with the passing game, again, I think it will be better, but I still need to see it in clutch moments. I think this team lacks leadership. I know many of you on the live streams that I've had, in the comments that I've seen on YouTube, etc. It's been brutal, but we've all been honest. Where's the leadership from coaching, for players, like the body language on the sidelines, the body language after a poor play or a drive doesn't end well? I mean, everybody's human. You're going to have some failures. I still don't see the leadership there, and I think that's going to haunt them in some circumstances that are quote-unquote must-haves. 3rd down and 2 at the opponent's 28. You're on that, the high red zone. It's field goal opportunity, and with Fitz, I mean, he's a great kicker, but 3 is not the same as 7. Florida State can no longer settle, and that is my concern. I don't trust them to pass the football consistently in those moments, especially if the offensive line's not doing well against blitzes. And let's just cut to the chase on the run game. They're averaging 2.53 yards per carry. As a play caller, there's no good play call on 3rd down because there's nothing that you're comfortable with yet. Now, Norvell will say otherwise publicly and all that, and that's fine. But they've been really bad. 3rd down has not been Florida State's friend offensively, and defensively I have concerns as well. BC and Georgia Tech, what did they both do well? Find a way to extend a drive. Quarterback scramble. Check down and a guy makes a guy miss. Florida State defender tackles but gets run over, or he spins off, just barely gets it. Florida State has been in a lot of just barely missed opportunities on defense. The pass defense in general hasn't been thrown at very much. Georgia Tech and Boston College, 16 passes in each game. Why? Because they could just run the ball. They put themselves in really good situations. But that also means I expect Florida State to be a little bit better in the run defense. But again, that's continuity to a certain degree, and that's pride. If it's not better this week, then we got holistic problems. Because like run defense is a lot of its effort and just run gap fits. It's not like Florida State doesn't have talent in its front 7. That's ridiculous. So I think that they'll get better, but we'll see if they can be that team on 3rd down. I'm not convinced they are. Georgia Tech in particular, the way they ended that game on that last drive after DJ did a nice job leading them back to tie the game at 21 all. I didn't see it from Florida State's defense. And then BC just got out to a lead, and there was never a real chance for Florida State to be in it come late third quarter, early fourth quarter. The offense just wasn't humming enough, and they were done. So I need to see it from the defense, but third down in particular, they're going against Seth Henigan. He will be slicing and dicing about every team he plays this year. But Florida State's pass rush has got to get home with 4 guys, not bringing 5 and 6 guys, because no matter how good you are on the back end, and I still have confidence in that secondary, Henigan will win a lot of one-on-one matchups because he's just so accurate. Now, maybe Florida State is lucky and he has an off day. He's human too. But that's also why I'm not a big fan of this game in general when Florida State's defense is on the field. They haven't shown a lot of confidence. They haven't shown a lot of character and leadership together in picking up the pieces when something goes wrong. And every defense has something go wrong, just like the offense. Henigan and his unit have adjusted in their 2 games, while lesser opponents being North Alabama and also Troy, he adjusted. North Alabama, they could just dominate. They don't have nearly enough talent to compete with Memphis. Troy's at least similar, and they just dinked and dunked, did what they had to do, and then ran the ball down their throat. They got a couple of pretty good running backs. That combination is my biggest concern there, because you're not going to be able just to stack the box to take away a couple of good runners. Seth Henigan will eat you alive. So Florida State's going to have to mix and match, and it gets just straight up down to play calling. Again, I hate saying that. I don't like putting it on coaches, but they are one of the rare G5 teams that has a legit quarterback that could play at the NFL level, where you got to be really good on play calling as a defensive staff. I mean, elite for this game, because one mistake can be the difference in what's probably going to be a pretty close football game. I think 10 points is about as much as either team would win by. And I actually, here in a minute, I'll give final score. I think it's going to be even closer than that. I think it will be less than a 1-score game at the end. So I think Florida State's passing game will improve. I do think the running defense will improve. I am very concerned about third downs for Florida State offensively and defensively. The one other area of Florida State, and this to a certain degree has shown itself in the first couple of ball games, the one area that Florida State should win is kicking game. Mastromano and Fitz, I mean, those are really, really good kickers. Punters, like, Florida State's good there. They need to maximize field position. At the very least, they need to make sure that Memphis has to go the length of the field. The only other thing I will say before taking a quick break and giving the final score prediction, Florida State's run offense, I mentioned earlier, 2.53. I'm just curious in general, somebody comment on this. What do you think they average in this game per carry? I'm hoping they can at least get over 4 yards a carry. That's a modest total, to be really frank. If it's under 3 again, they're going to be 0-3. That has to happen. I mean, DJ hasn't been great. Pass protection hasn't been great. Receivers, tight ends, all that. But they need to be in more manageable situations. Offensive line's a part of that, the blocking for the tight ends, etc. But they need to be in more manageable situations. And right now, I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't seen Florida State play this bad up front before. Like, they are bad. They are abysmal. And it's just a weird deal because they got so many talented players returning up front. And then the running backs, they have a ton of talent there too. They're just nowhere to go a lot of the time. So we'll see. So when I come back, I'm going to give my final score prediction, a couple other points, and that'll be it for today's show. Thank you for stopping in once again and checking us out here on Locked On Seminoles. Truly appreciate it. We'll be back with the final scores prediction in one moment. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay's Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. With eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay's Guaranteed Fit available only to United States customers. When you're hiring for small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you need to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board like all these other different sites. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find in other places. Even those that aren't actively searching for a new job might be open to a perfect role that you can offer to them. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit another leading job site. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're not looking in the right place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate in 24 hours. So hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free on linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So we need to break down one other thing here, and that's just how much heart and how much passion these teams have. You got some unique circumstances here, as I've mentioned a few times, and I'm sure just about everybody knows. Mike Norvell was the head coach at Memphis. It's the little extra in this game, and I don't know how to put anything on that. Does it matter a ton because he's in year 5 at Florida State? Maybe. I mean, sure, to him it does. He talked glowingly about Memphis, his time there with his family, and by all means he should. That being the case, I still think that most of those players are going to look at this like, this is a chance for me to make a splash in Doak Campbell Stadium. We don't get much respect at Memphis. This game, they will come out fire, just absolutely playing like they're crazed men and just nothing to lose. I would if I was them, because they're not going to get the same respect. The jersey, the name on the helmet, all those kinds of things, it matters. Florida State is also a wounded animal. So the first 5 to 7 minutes of the game, they are always important. But in this game, because of the emotional factor of Florida State, they're 0-2. Memphis is 2-0. They're still the team that's not respected. Can Florida State make a statement in those first 5 to 10 minutes? Or at least, quote unquote, weather the storm? If Florida State is even, or even just down a field goal, like if it's 10-7 with 3 minutes to go or something in the first quarter, like it's just kind of gone back and forth, and Florida State looks like they're challenging Memphis, they'll be fine. It'll go down to the wire. And I kind of think that's what's going to happen. My only concern is if they get down early, like 10-0, Memphis can start doing what they want offensively, passing and running as they see fit, and Henigan would be a major issue. I don't think that's how it's going to go, but in that scenario, I could see Memphis winning by double digits. Florida State is 0-2. A lot of the players right now, I just don't think they have that much confidence, and I don't have a ton of confidence in them either. That's why I'm picking Memphis to win 31-27. I think this will be a really good football game just from an aesthetic standpoint. It'll be fun back and forth, but I don't have a lot of faith in Florida State right now. I just don't. I'm going to go with the team that has the quarterback that's going to make an NFL roster as opposed to the one that doesn't. Seth Henigan is the better player. He threw for over 3,800 yards last year, and he's consistent. He changes what he needs to do from week to week based on the defenses, and he'll create plays when other guys won't. So, again, I've got Florida State falling to Memphis 31-27. If I'm wrong, so be it, but that's my pick. Curious to hear what everybody else has to say on it. I will see you again soon. And once again, thank you for checking out Locked On Seminoles and making it your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in to talk some Noles football with me. Now go check out Locked On ACC and Locked On College Football. Everybody have a good one. I will see you on Saturday.